Over in the U.S., Tim Walz, who's the governor of Minnesota, has formally accepted the Democratic Party's nomination for vice president.
Governor Tim Walz.
And he took to the stage at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, receiving a warm welcome from delegates and supporters. The relatively unknown shot into the limelight when Kamala Harris picked him as her running mate. Wasting no time to introduce himself to Americans, he told them that their freedoms were at stake if they voted for Republican rival Donald Trump.
When Republicans use the word freedom, they mean that the government should be free to invade your doctor's office. Corporations free to pollute your air and water. And banks free to take advantage of customers. But when we Democrats talk about freedom, we mean the freedom to make a better life for yourself and the people that you love. Freedom to make your own health care decisions. And yeah, your kids' freedom to go to school without worrying about being shot dead in the hall.
And earlier, the former President Bill Clinton made his pitch in support of the Harris-Walz ticket, warning voters of the alleged self-serving motives, lies, and division that the Trump campaign sows. He called on Americans to vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, saying that generations to come will be thankful that they did.
If you vote for this team, if you can get them elected and let them bring in this breath of fresh air, you will be proud of it for the rest of your life. Your children will be proud of it. Your grandchildren will be proud of it.
And the celebrity talk show host Oprah Winfrey also making a surprise appearance at the convention. She urged voters, especially those undecided or non-aligned to either party, to choose their next leaders carefully, saying that values and character matter most.
That was some I have always, since I was eligible to vote, I've always voted my values. And that is what is needed in this election now more than ever. So I'm calling on all you independents and all you undecideds. You know this is true. You know I'm telling you the truth, that values and character matter most of all.
And this convention will wrap up tomorrow in Chicago. That is when the Vice President Kamala Harris launches the final sprint to the White House. Her address will be the most important political speech of her career, and she's hoping to secure a bump in opinion polls that cements her current slim lead over the Republican rival, Donald Trump. And the convention seen the torch pass to a younger generation of Democrats. Simon Marks reports that many are now laying plans to modernize the party and its policies.
You may never have heard of Jason Palmer, but you'll want to remember his name because one day he may become an answer in the game of Trivial Pursuit. That's because Mr. Palmer is the only man ever to have beaten President Joe Biden during America's 2024 election campaign.
Young Americans keep telling me you feel particularly disenfranchised, and I can't blame you. Somebody's got to champion you as the future of this country.
Palmer's campaign for the Democratic presidential nomination was the longest of long shots, rooted in his belief that the party could not keep the octogenarian Joe Biden at the helm for another 4 years. But then history took an extraordinary turn in, of all places, American Samoa.
I'm asking for your support and vote and would love to talk to you about why I believe I'm the best candidate for American Samoa.
Palmer's effort to beat Joe Biden struck gold in American Samoa. He won the primary contest there, the first time any sitting president had lost a primary since Senator Ted Kennedy challenged Jimmy Carter back in 1980.
I do think I was either a canary in a coal mine or I was that butterfly that flaps its wings across the earth somewhere and then a big change happen somewhere else. Should someone like me, who I'm not completely an average citizen, but I'm close to an average citizen, beat an incumbent president in a primary election? I think there was a reason why people were surprised on that day, and it might be because I'm a very good campaigner, but I think it's more likely because of the canary in the coal mine effect.
This week in Chicago, Palmer has brought young activists to the Democratic convention, seeking to seize on the generational shift at the top, symbolized by Kamala Harris, as a moment to amplify the voices of younger voters at lower levels within the party.
I am over the moon for them. I actually wrote a piece about the Democratic Party about 3 months ago, about like my kind of disappointment in them and the lack of vision and the lack of charisma and the lack of strength with their messaging. And 3 months later, Kamala's now the nominee and has done exactly what I've wanted from the beginning.
And in group gatherings like this, younger Democrats are discussing ideas better to leverage digital platforms for engagement, but also to debate the future direction of the Democratic Party itself. Jason Palmer, with his experience in the Pacific Islands front of mind, is honing new proposals that would truly deepen US engagement with Asia by moving beyond agreements on trade and security and instead emulating the example of Britain's Commonwealth.
There's many other areas around the world that want to have an affiliation with America. And this is the first time I've talked about this idea publicly, but we need to look for, the Commonwealth actually allows and includes lots of countries around the globe that were connected to the British Empire. There are lots of countries around the globe that want to have an affiliation with America, especially in Asia. We should seek to replicate that, starting with our Pacific territories, but expanding to areas of Asia that want that closer connection.
It's just an idea at this point, but Kamala Harris's arrival at the top of the Democratic ticket has already encouraged younger Democrats to hope that the party may soon be ready to embrace new thinking as well. Thursday night here we'll see Kamala Harris address this convention, marking the moment at which she officially becomes the Democrats' new leader. The hopes and dreams of young grassroots Democrats have been reignited by her rapid ascension to the presidential nomination. On Thursday, they hope to be electrified by what she has to say. Simon Marks, CNA, at the Democratic Party convention in Chicago.